for problem 3, which is the new stuff. This is all going to be just extra credit on the quiz. Okay, extra credit because it's all brand new. All right. All you have to do is just understand that A over B times C over D, property of real numbers, says you multiply the numerators together and then you also multiply the denominators together. So we're going to use that same property, and we're going to be just doing the same thing here by factoring every part of every fraction, and then we can start canceling factors. The factors of x squared plus x minus 6 are x plus 3 times x minus 2. That's a trinomial. Can't take out any greatest common factor, so we have to use the FOIL method there. The x minus 5 can't be factored any. Now the x squared minus 25, that is the difference of two squares. So how do we factor that? We have x plus 5 times x minus 5. And then the denominator of the second fraction can be factored using the FOIL method. X and x, we have factors of negative 10 that add up to 3, so that's positive 5 and negative 2. And this is where we get to start canceling. But before we cancel, what we want to do is we want to identify any restrictions. Okay. So no matter what we cancel, x still in the original function, or in the original expression, is not allowed to equal any number that makes a factor equal to 0. So since 5 minus 5 is 0, x cannot equal 5. Since x minus 2 equals 0, x cannot equal 2. And since x plus 5 equals 0 and x is equal to negative 5, x can't be equal to negative 5 either. So it's whatever makes the denominator equal to 0, not the numerator. Because 0 in the numerator is okay. 0 in the denominator is not okay. Alright, so we can start canceling. If we see, remember, because of this property, if we have a multiplication symbol in between the two fractions, it's as if we're rewriting the fractions like this. X plus 3 times x minus 2 times x plus 5 times x minus 5 all over x minus 5 times, and I wouldn't do this, I'm not going to do this from now on, I'm just showing you that once we make it one big fraction, if we have a factor that's on top and on the bottom, just like those guys, even if it's way over here like that, x minus 5 also cancels with x minus 5, and so do the x minus 2's, and we get just x plus 3. That's how we simplify that fraction. And now we're going to use another property that says if a over b divided by c over d, or says that, so when we divide fractions, it's like multiplying by the reciprocal. Okay, so that's all we're going to do here. A over b divided by c over d is the same as a over b times flip the fraction over, multiply by the reciprocal, multiply by d over c. So we're still going to factor. We have y squared, and we have y plus 1 times y plus 1 divided by 3y over y plus 1 times y minus 1. So I'm not spending a lot of time on the factoring. But here's the deal. When we have division, we have 2 times when we have to look at restrictions. 2 times. Okay? The reason why 2 times is because anything that's currently in the denominator, y is not allowed to be. So y is not allowed to be equal to any number that makes either denominator equal to 0. So y is not allowed to equal negative 1, because it makes the y plus 1's equal to 0. And y is not allowed to equal also positive 1. But now we're going to flip the fraction over. We're going to multiply. Remember, we're going to change the division to multiplication. We're going to flip the fraction over, and we're going to multiply. But before we do that, we're going to identify any other, like once we flip this fraction over, now the y equaling 0 becomes a restriction. So y is not allowed to equal 0 because it makes, once you flip the fraction over, it makes that denominator equal to 0. Okay, so that takes care of our restrictions. We can cancel any factors that are alike. Y plus 1's cancel. Now you can only cancel one of those because 1 on the bottom, 1 on the top. Okay, you can't cancel 2 on the bottom and 1 on the top. Now we can cancel this y, so we have 2 y's up top. Now we only have 1 y up on top. So we end up with y times y minus 1 in the numerator over 3 times y plus 1. And that is it. That's it.